This is time,
在做 quiz。
but really doesn't need 2 minutes.
一感觉怎么选哪个题目 ？Prescriptive kinetics。Prescriptive。像最佳的数量，因为我刚刚切换了一下，是那种 quantity， 最佳的就是 optional， 还有最小的 minimize。单纯用的是在寻找最佳决策方案，那就是 prescriptive 规范性分析 prescriptive analytics。因为他现在不是在分析过去，而是在预测未来。电中写太上脸了是吗？在做 Q&A， 是不是在回答？注意有些人好烦啊。
So let's see what is the answer to this one.
看下一个题。哦，很多人选错这个题。
Whenever you see a kind of
不是有亲吻
optimization,
特效吗？你可以亲。
if there is a kind of objective we want to optimize, if we want to minimize our cost or maximize our
应该
profit or revenue, this is a kind of prescriptive analysis.
prescriptive analytics。
So once you predict for future, so you can use your train model to do some sensitivity analysis to optimize for future and then take an action. So we already discussed every one of them in detail. So really, I expected everybody to choose prescriptive. So
配速录像是什么？
the next one.
什么最低利润最高？下一个问题。Each program feature is公司，Hello，我在别的直播间也看到过你，好像有一次在谁的直播间刷到过你，好像是一个 IP 在美国的博主，真的啊，好像在一个美国的留学生吧，好像在他的直播间看到的。哪个功能最符合规范性分析？是吗？缘分。时间序列的预测。DAX， 感觉选最后一个，很确定是的。那你，可是你都没有亮我灯牌，你好像很少过来。 这个题选的我看一下，是 What if analytics？ 可以正确答案。What if？ 我觉得选 What if。提交了。我现在在加拿大。
Okay, so let's discuss this in more details. So first one is time series forecasting. So the name already suggests that is kind of tool for making prediction, and it is time dependent. Whenever your target variable is time dependent, so we kind of run time series forecasting. There are different tools to it. So like moving average, like exponential, we can use to predict for future, because let's assume that our target, let's say, is a stock price. We change over a time. So we have, let's say, daily stock price whatsoever. So then I do have these values, let's say. What I can do, one of the basic time series forecasting tool we can use, we call it moving average. Depends on how many data points we need from preceding steps to take the average. We call it 2, 3, or so on. For example, the very first one is moving average 2, because really, to take an average, we at least need 2 data points, okay? That's why we need 2 from past. So I'm gonna use these 2 from past, taking the average of them, and we can predict for, let's say, this is January 2nd, let's say, this is January 3rd. We can predict for January 3rd what my data should look like. So this would be the average of 2 preceding, let's say, data points. So why we call it moving average? Because we moved on and taking the average. Then I get this exact data, let's say, use these 2 to take the average and predict for the other one. Okay? So there are some evaluation methods here as well to make sure which moving average give us a better result. So we can go and try moving average 3, moving average 4, and so on. And always keep in mind, for forecasting, for prediction, if you want to evaluate it, the only way is to compare it with other methods. It cannot be evaluated standalone, okay? So I need to generate multiple methods here, multiple tools. Then every one of them, I'm gonna go and check which one gives us, for example, minimized error. Or which one gives us maximized accuracy. So then I'm gonna pick that method, if it is moving average 2 or 3 or whatsoever, as the best method to make prediction. In this case, okay? Any questions about time series?
No.
What if analysis? It's a kind of sensitivity analysis. For example, how we can use this? We want to see if we have a change in our input data. Let's say if we can make any change to our sales values. how it kind of affects our business outcome. It can be profit, let's say. So I may have different sales values here. If I can increase the sales, because we kind of make a prediction for future and we can create some scenarios. So we have a base case scenario that what we expected, let's say optimally. It might be a best case that we can increase our profit even more than our target, let's say. It might be a worst case. So based on changing the input, whatever they are, it can be multiple of them, it can be one of them, whatsoever. We can see how they're gonna affect our profit, okay? In base case, our profit might be $10,000. In best case, might be $2,000. In worst case, it might be negative, okay? So this we call it sensitivity analysis. Based on changing our input, we want to go and kind of describe what happened to our business outcomes. So this would be a prescriptive analytics part, okay? So we want to optimize for future, and we want to get an idea, as long as we could make a prediction for future, if I kind of can make any changes to our sales values, how our profit would change in future. So this is what we call what if analysis. Even you can go backward. You do have a goal for your profit. So this is when we put it into a chart like KPI. So I go backward to see if I want to achieve this profit target, so how the sales value should look like, okay? So this is, we call it goal seeking, which is a part of what if analysis. So see, this is a kind of prescriptive analytics. We kind of want to optimize for future. It's not about historical data, it's not about to understand the reason behind a pattern happen. It's not about predictive analytics, because we already trained to predict our model. Because on a single case, let's say I train a model to give us our next month or next year profit. Once we got this, I'm going to use this trained model, which already evaluated, to do what if analysis. So there is no more prediction. It will be always the same model that we trained to see if I can make any changes to our sales values, to our cost values, how profit can be changed later on. Thank you. Does it make sense? Not really.
It's just constructing scenarios.
Yeah, exactly.
How many scenarios? Only 3?
No, it really depends. It really depends on your case. For example, let's assume that apply for a loan, a mortgage, or whatsoever. So I know the interest rate. This might be, let's say 6% annually. I may want to apply for a loan that is, let's say, $40,000, and I know the term, so I should pay it off back by 2 years, so it would be 24 months. And then, let's say future value, by this time I want to pay it off totally, okay? So I can train a model to predict how this look like. It's really not a complex prediction model, but you can easily find out what is your, let's say, monthly payment look like. And then in what if analysis, what we are trying to do, I'm trying to see if I kind of can play around with interest rate. Like if I can get 5.9%, 6%, 6.1%, and so on. And even the terms. If I can extend it from 24 months to 36 to 48 and so on, how my monthly payment look like. And if it is in my budget or not, okay? Even if the interest rate is constant, usually it is, I can change this to loan value. How much I can, because I do have a target, I do have a budget. For example, I can pay $1,000 per month. I cannot exceed that value. So I want to see if 40,000 or 42,000 or 46,000 whatsoever, what my monthly payment look like, even if I can extend the terms. So then, based on the one that meet our object, meet our target, meet our budget, so I can see how much loan with what terms I can get. Okay? So machine learning integration, it's really for predictive analytics in Tableau or any other kind of, data visualization or machine learning tools. You can do an integration. So like Tableau, if you want to just visualize your result of your prediction, you can create a script of Python or R, and it's gonna go and run it in your Python and then bring back the result. So this is just an integration which is for predictive analytics. What is Power Query?
It's where we transform our data.
Yeah. So queries and connections, it's for us to see how we can connect to a data, how we can maybe import it, and how we can clean the data and do transformation. You can also have a kind of data model. What data model does? Mainly how to relay data to each other. Because data sets come from different data sources, we need to make a connection between them. We need to relate them to each other based on a primary key. So Power Query is mainly for cleaning, not prescriptive. The next one.
还在上课，还在上课呢。
These are just some definition from module 3. So again, just to emphasize, this is a flipped classroom. I expect you already read through the module.
风插着，来往点。To the primary principle.
Ahora dices para encontrar.
We have learned to use the schema connecting data sets to each other. The basic one is the star schema, and the other one, which is a little bit more complex because it's kind of the normalization to reduce redundancy. So is the snowflake. Nice, yeah. So fact tables are our core data set in a star schema. It contains quantitative variables for analysis. And then it can be connected to different, what we call the other tables here. Do you remember? Dimension. So dimension table includes some descriptive variables that help us to kind of filter and control our fact tables. For example, if I want to see the sales by region, so there might be a kind of dimension table that give us geolocation variables, so we can see the sales by regions. We kind of can connect them. So this relation, it will be one to many. Why it is one to many?
Because one dimension can have many.
Yeah, exactly. So here, for every postal code, for every region, for every territory, so we're gonna have unique ID, unique identifier. So it should be one. But here, they can repeat over and over again. Yeah, it can be duplicated. Any questions? Does it make sense? Yes. Yep. So go with the next one.
咱们这个桌子不太一样。滤镜开起来。
So we just answered this.
下一道题是什么？
So it should be It should be qualitative, not quantitative.
Dimension table 上述数据仓库中的维度表。什么问题？拜拜。什么是维度表 ？Dimension table 是描述学习系产品选出它 definition 交易记录选第三个。傻逼，这个人拉黑一下。
So product information is a kind of qualitative, a kind of descriptive that
管理员呢？
control our quantitative
有没有人想当
data
我的管理
sets.
的？
So sales revenue, sales transactions, or order quantity, these are a part of our fact table that we already discussed. There should be quantitative. So product information, maybe their category, their segment, these are a part of dimension data. The next one, this is just to understand the difference between stars and
Yeah, no battery.
Esa es la
对呀、瓜子，你那个 AI 用的怎么样？你平时都用什么呀？你会用？你都会用哪些就是软件？平时？
que se desglosan como para detallar más la
微软的是立宠，我们还没学这个。是没电了。拜拜，没电了，没电了，大家可以关注主播哦，没有关注主播的关注一下。主播要准备下了，明天吧，后天吧，星期三有课，充满电再跟大家聊天吧。拜拜，家人们，拜拜。
perfect. So really, in a snowflake, we want to normalize dimension
下了，拜
table
拜。
to kind of